Yeah. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Friends in Training. Live is a marathon podcast, and this is episode 7. And I'm so excited to have our first elite athlete in the house. Welcome, Elliot.
Good afternoon, or good morning, or good evening, whenever you're watching or listening to this. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you for
so
having
much.
me on
Yes,
Life
we're
is a
so
Marathon.
excited. We're so happy to have you, Elliot. As I was telling you, you are our first elite athlete in the house. And we want to get in your brain and learn all about your
Well,
running journey.
former elite athlete, not
Yes.
present.
Well,
That was like 20 years ago.
hey, in my heart, to the
Once an
elite
elite
athlete
athlete, you're
today,
always an elite
always.
athlete.
Yes, absolutely. It's like once a runner, always a runner. Right?
Yes.
So why don't let's start by you telling us a little bit about you and how you started that running journey.
It started, I think it was 1993. I'm not
Uh-huh.
sure, but I know it was in the early 90s because it was definitely before the 1996 Olympics. Because I remember watching the 1996 Olympics, watching Michael Johnson sporting his gold shoes and winning the 200 and the 400 meters. And at that moment was the first time I set my eyes on the Olympics or even knew what the Olympics was.
Oh my God.
Before
That's
that 1996 Olympics, I was
yeah.
running. I was,
Uh-huh.
I think I was maybe 9, 10, somewhere around there, age 9 or 10. I don't remember my exact age at the night. Wait, no. I was older. By 1996, I was, at 1996, I was 18 years old. I was already old. I was already, but that's the first Olympics I actually paid attention to. And then I'm like,
Wow.
wow, this is so cool.
That is so cool. The
And
Olympics have
then
a way to inspire us all, right?
yeah, people get inspired by silly things, even animals. An animal can inspire you to to be a better person by just them how they take care of their offsprings. So I got inspired watching that, and I'm like, you know what? Life is all about just living it to the fullest and perform to your fullest potential every time you go out there to perform. And
That's wonderful.
every time I set foot on the track, when I was in high school and then college, I just pushed myself beyond my expectation. So sometimes now that I'm running, I'm like, I don't know how I did that. I don't know how I did those things. It's like it's so funny. Like looking back, like I also did triathlon professionally from like 2007 to 2010. And
Uh-huh.
I'm like, how did I find the time to put in 30 hours a week of swim, biking, and running? I can't even find
That's
an hour to go for a run now. And I used to put in like 4 hours a day of training. Much less, not only can I not find the time, I cannot find the energy. I cannot find the energy. So
you're so funny.
life is,
But
life,
listen,
life is so funny.
you're right, you're right. But listen, you mentioned the Olympics, and so I have to say there are these times in during the year that the world comes together, right? To watch events such as the Olympics. Everybody stops and watches. The world comes together. Right now we're living the World Cup, right? And
Mhm.
so those athletes have a way to just inspire us and just kind of like bring excitement, and they bring so much fun too. And so a former elite athlete, why do you remember, like, what was your first big event that you said, oh my God, I cannot believe I accomplished this? Tell us a little bit about that.
1994, El Salvador, where
All
I
right.
competed in the Central America and Caribbean Games. junior championships. At that point is when I realized sport can really take you to places that you would have never gone without it, and also introduce you to other people that you would have never met. In that race, there was other English speaking people or young
Uh-huh.
men, but there was also people that speak French, Spanish, and we were all competing for one thing: to win. And it
Wow.
just blew my mind at that point. I'm like, wait, we don't we don't need to communicate it to each other. We don't need to understand what each other is saying to each other, but we all know
What we're
we
here for.
want to win. We want to win this race. And at
I
that point,
love it.
it just blew my mind to see that we were all coming together, towing the line for one common goal. And at
Isn't
that
that
point is when I
awesome?
realized that sports can actually do bring people together from different walks of life, different nationality, different background, different socioeconomical class, no matter. So at that point is when I realized, okay, this is way bigger than I thought.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. So, in your career, your former career as a lady athlete, what because it's like be before and after, right? So
Mhm.
before at that time, what was your proudest accomplishment? Even if not necessarily from your fastest race, but as an elite athlete, what was your proudest
Well,
accomplishment?
I'm from a very small island in the Caribbean, Antigua and Barbuda. The population of that country is between 80 and 90,000, the last time I checked. And to put that in perspective, the amount of people in the country, the population of my country can fit in the Hard Rock Stadium that's located in Miami Gardens, Florida, because
Oh
that
my
stadium hold about
god.
100,000. So my country is very small. And whenever I competed, because I've competed in the Central American Caribbean Games, Pan American Games, Commonwealth Games, the only popular sporting event that I haven't competed in is in the Olympics. My best shot at competed in the Olympics was in 2004, and I was injured pretty much the whole cycle, Olympic cycle. So I didn't get a shot at that. And the races that I usually compete in at that age of my life was the 800, the mile. Yeah, the 800 and the mile were my main events in high school and college. And then when I did compete in the triathlon, I did the Olympic distance. That's the main and popular distance that they have in the Olympics for triathlon. And I remember competing in the Commonwealth Games in Melbourne, Australia,
Ooh.
and people walking up to me and
Uh-huh.
asking me for autograph and to take my picture. Take with me. And I'm not talking about one person, like many, many people. I'm like, wait, am I a celebrity? And then,
That's awesome. You're
and
so
then,
humble too. I love that.
correct. And then I realized at that point, you have to carry yourself in a way that you want to be remembered because you're under a magnifying glass when you have the spotlight in you. So people call
Yeah.
it spotlight, but I call it a magnifying glass because then everything you do basically get amplified, looks bigger, regardless of what you say, how you carry yourself. And at that point is when I realized, you know what, I have to really pay attention to what I say and what I do. Not that I was a bad person or ever been a bad person, but at that point I realized, you know what, and this was before social media because I competed in the Commonwealth Games in 2006. So that was, I think the Facebook actually started in 2006. So
Oh, wow.
this was right
Yeah.
around when Facebook as well. Either 2005 or 2006 Facebook started. And I think the iPhone just came out around that same time. So this was like before then, and I was already realizing, you know what? Just be careful, just be careful how you carry
Yeah,
yourself. So I
you
can
had a good
imagine.
start because
Yeah, I can imagine the pressure that the celebrity athletes have now. Like, phew,
imagine
they have to
that.
make sure. I guarantee you, some of them don't even want to be on camera. Some of them don't even want to do interviews. Don't even want to say anything because whatever you
Someone's
say,
always watching.
whatever you say can and will work against you. But yeah, that was one of my most realizing moment is like people walking up to me asking for autograph and take pictures, regardless if they don't know my stats or whatever. They just saw that I have a lanyard on that says Commonwealth Game or athlete, like you know the lanyard, the credential that they give you. They just say see
Yeah.
that and they're like, okay, if he has that, that means he's good enough to be here. So he has to be someone that is famous or someone that's good enough for me to take a picture with.
You're so funny. That's beautiful.
Yes.
Oh man. Well, I tell you, I am, even though I didn't know you back then, but I know you now. And I
Uh-huh.
have to tell you that I feel so blessed that I have this friendship with you, and you're such
Uh-huh.
a leader in our community as well. And what you were talking about, everybody's watching. That's not true of a leader too, because people look up to you, and yeah, you have to be be careful what you do and what you say. But you truly are a very special person, Elliot, and I'm so glad that we're doing this interview because I feel like you have so much to share with so many of our listeners out there. And so, with that said, I kind of want to go over, your coaching. I know you're a coach now, but what back in that time, was there a coach or somebody who did something special for you that helped you, get to where you are, where you achieve, where you were?
Yes. Yes.
Tell us
My
about.
back in the Caribbean, or at least the school that I went to, we didn't have like a track team. What we participated in was club, like club
Oh,
sport. We did run in school, but it wasn't like serious or organized. It was just like once a year they have something called a sports day where they basically take all of the kids out of the classroom for a week and like have them participate in different sports to see what they're good at.
uh-huh.
If you're good at a particular sport, then you can continue doing it. You fall off, or you can join a club. The clubs were free, at least when I was there, the clubs were free to participate in. And I participated in like a high school inter-school meet, like at age 12 or 13, and I did very well. And
Uh-huh.
there was this coach, his name, he passed away like maybe, I want to say 10 years ago from cancer.
Mm.
And he had approached me back then and said, do you know that if you train a little bit more, you will get better? And I'm like, why do I even need to train? I just beat everybody in that race. Me, not me, me being 12 or 13 years old and being cocky, saying like, what? I just beat everybody. You tell me I need to train. So he's like, okay. He's like, his response was, okay, there's a next meet happening next week that I would like for you to participate in. So I'm like, okay, I'm in. Of course I didn't train. So I just showed up to the meet. It was an 800-meter race and I came dead last. After the
Ah!
race,
It was
I
a
came dead
humility
last.
moment.
I ran my fastest time. I ran my fastest time ever. Well, at that point, any time that you run was your fastest time because you had just started out. I ran like a 2:17 in the 800 and I came dead last. I'm like, okay, when can I start training? Because
I
I'm
love
very
that.
competitive. And I never looked back from since then. And at that point, no one in my family even run. I didn't even know what running was. I didn't even know anything about it was a sport and it could take you places that you have never dreamed of. And then like a year or so into my training and my improvement continued, he told me, oh, if you keep on running like this, you can actually go to school in the United States and get an education. I'm like, sir, I'm one of six. My parents do not have the money to send me to no school to participate and get like a tertiary education. He's like, no, 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 no. You'll get a scholarship. I did not know what that word mean. I immediately went home, looked
Wow.
in the dictionary to try and figure that out because I didn't want to sound dumb and ask him, oh, a scholarship, and like ask more questions. Because by that time I was in high school. I should know what that means. And like, so I went home, I looked it up, and then afterward, the next day when I went to practice, I'm like, tell me more about that scholarship. And
Yeah.
he started dangling the carrot in front of me. He told me, you run. I don't remember what time he told me, but he told me if I run a particular time and I go to Commonwealth Games and I perform very well, I could possibly get a scholarship. And it was game on from there. From then, I had a
Wow.
goal. I had a goal and I had a mission. This was like maybe 2 or 3 years before I finished high school. And from then, I just locked in and I just started training towards getting that scholarship. And that's how I ended up in the United States. I attended FIU for 4 years on a track and field scholarship. I graduated with my bachelor's and master's degree in 4 years in 2002 at Florida International University.
Elliot, that's an amazing story. You know the power of somebody making an impact on your life. Look, if you hadn't met that coach, who knows where would you be now? So I'm grateful for that coach.
More than just meeting the coach, him saying the right things
Yeah,
to
that's
like
true.
motivate me. Like, how dare he
Right.
told me that I need to train. Train. How dare he?
That's so funny. Oh, wow. No, but that's amazing. I love that story. So let me ask you this now. So as an elite athlete in that time, like what are some of the lessons, um, in addition to being humble, that you learned back then that you can talk to our listeners about, like some of the lessons being training as an elite athlete or living that
One of
journey?
the things that I realize now that I coach athletes and I am like seeing the seeing it from an outside, seeing athletes develop and perform and improve from the outside.
Mhm.
No elite athlete ever give themselves enough credit or think that they are good enough. Because that's the
Oh.
fire. That's what keeps you going. The fact that you think you can always do better and you're not good enough. I know it sounds funny and it sounds like, why are you complaining? You're like the best in the world. That's what makes you better. The fact that you think that you can be better and you're not good enough. That's what drives you
Mhm.
to keep going. Because now I'm coaching kids that they don't think they're good enough. And I'm like, sir, you just improve by you just improve on your lifetime best. And you're still upset. And I'm like thinking that was me. I would run my fastest and I'm like, no, that's not good enough. I'm like, I messed up the first lap. I got boxed in. Even though I PR, I'm like, I got boxed in. I could have run better. I could have run better. Even though I just run my best. And I realize now that's what makes an elite athlete. The drive to always want to be better and improve on their mistakes. That's how you get better as an athlete. And I guess that's how you get better as a human. Always want to be the best version of yourself.
I love that because that really applies to everybody, not only
Yeah.
elite athletes, but the everyday runner and yeah, just like you mentioned, just a human being always have that drive to be better, right? And not to just settle.
Yeah.
That's
And I
awesome.
remember watching interviews of athletes that are like professional athletes, whether it might be basketball, football, soccer, Tom Brady, when they're like, okay, you already make so much money. Why don't you just retire? You already did win so many championships. Just retire. I'm like, that's easier said than done. When you have basically spend more time in your life doing something than anything else in your life, it's hard to just walk away from it. It's not easy. It's not easy. That's the reason why I got up this morning and at 6 a.m. I went for a run. It's not because I want to. It's because I have nothing else better to do with my life. It's like for me, if I don't do that, I don't know what I would do with myself. It's become so much a part of your life that
It's who you
it's hard for
are.
you not to do it. Some people used to ask me, how can you run so much? I'm like, how can I not run so much? How can I not run so much? I'm like, I don't understand how people don't run because I don't know how they keep their sanity. Because if I don't run, I feel like I'm going insane.
Oh my
Don't want
god,
to keep
that's
it
so
part of your life.
true.
So I can understand and identify with athletes that don't want to retire, just want to keep going because
Yeah,
you build such bond with the sport that you're in that you feel like you have to stay involved in it. And that's why I'm coaching and that's why I'm helping kids develop and become better athletes because I know it will teach them a lesson that will be with them forever. And more so, discipline. The discipline of like getting stuff done, just getting what needs to be done without complaining and making a big deal.
I love it, I
Mhm.
love it.
Yeah.
So, number 1, wanting to get better. Number 2, discipline.
Uh-huh.
Yes, we're not complaining, just do it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's good. And, any other valuable lessons that you wanna share with our audience in regards to, the running journey and, just as a coach in general?
As a coach in general, as athletes, as runners, most of us think that we are not good enough or we cannot do something, especially
Mhm.
if we see it being done by someone else. But I'm here to tell you and everyone else that is hearing or listening to this, you have way more potential than you think. You just need the right motivators around you, the right motivation, and more than motivation, just know that you're the best person for the job. If you're doing it, you're the best person for the job. Whatever you're doing, you're the best person for the job. And if you think that way, that you're the best person for the job, you will always push yourself beyond your wildest imagination.
I
Because most
love it.
most of the athletes that I coach,
Uh-huh.
adults, teenagers, youths, it doesn't matter. I notice one common factor. We
Which
do
is
not know how to appreciate, we do not know how to handle success. In our life, I don't know why humans are programmed this way.
Oh,
We
wow.
have more failures in our life than success. So when success do happen and you ask someone, wow, what just happened? First thing they say, I don't know. I don't know how I do that. I'm like, how can you not know how you just broke 2 hours in the marathon? You have to be training very, very fast. You have to be training very hard to be able to do that. And most of the time, most athletes, some of them already process it and think it through, but most of them are like shocked. I'm like, why are you shocked? If you're training, that result should be the result that should happen. Most of the time, you see someone break a world record or do something, it's like they can't believe, they can't believe. So that's that always get me because in my mind, I'm like, clearly, as humans, we do not know how to handle success very well. It seems like we handle failure better than we
Yeah.
handle success. Like we are so used to bad news that we are more prepared for the worst outcome rather than the best outcome. So I would say be prepared for the best outcome, and the best outcome will happen more often. Because then you start believing in yourself more.
Oh, I love
You
that.
start believing in yourself more. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing that. I love it. I love it.
My
Okay, so
pleasure.
so this podcast is called Life is a Marathon. And just as in in a race, in the marathon of life, sometimes we have setbacks, right? Injuries or things that come our way that kind of like might slow us down a little. Have you ever experienced any type of injuries or setbacks in your career, and how did you deal with them?
My I have had two major setbacks in my running career. The first one was
Uh-huh.
between 14 and 16 when I went through a big growth spurt. So I think I wasn't even paying attention to how
Oh.
tall I was and how much I was growing back then. So I couldn't tell you. But I know for a fact that my back used to hurt me so much when I run. And my mom went to the doctor, took me to the doctor, and the doctor said, "Don't worry, he's just growing very fast. That's why he's growing very fast, but eventually he'll
They
outgrow."
were growing pains.
Yes, exactly. I didn't know what that was. He would outgrow it. Don't worry about it. He would outgrow it. And it basically put me out for like, I want to say 6 weeks. And the reason why it put me out that long is because I was inexperienced at running and I didn't know what to do at that age. So I have had other things that could have set me back
Oh.
that long as adult or further on in my career, but I just like know how to deal with it and what to do to like make it better. And then the second one was in 2013
Uh-huh.
when I decided, you know what, I'm signed up for the Chicago Marathon. I'm gonna go all in on this marathon in terms of training. And
Yeah.
I was living in South Florida.
Ooh.
And if
Uh,
anybody that's watching this lives in South Florida, they know if you're preparing for the Chicago Marathon, that means the bulk of your training is going to be done in South Florida in the
in the
scorching heat.
heat.
And I decided, you know what? Doesn't matter. I'm going to
Yes.
go ham on this. I'm going to start putting in 80 plus miles a week, get up to 100 by the mid September. My one of my left quads start like bothering me so much that I had to go in to get it checked out. And when I went to get an X-ray, it was a stress fracture in my femur. I was training so much that and I didn't hit it.
Oh,
I didn't fall. I didn't
wow.
do anything. It was just a stress fracture in my femur from running so much and putting on so much mileage. And probably I wasn't proper nutrition. I wasn't probably doing proper nutrition and that put me off for like a month. But at that
Wow.
point, I was already exposed to triathlon
Oh,
because I used to do triathlon. So I didn't miss my training that much. I didn't run, but I cycled and swim. I just couldn't run because it hurt and I would have
oh,
made it
good for
worse.
you.
So
Yes.
in that for that one, I was out of running for like a month, but I swam and and
Uh-huh.
cycled a lot more. So those were the 2 that derailed me in my career.
Wow.
Other than that,
And you
I'm
came
able
back
to
and were you able to run Chicago?
no, I never got to run Chicago, but I signed up no, I never I went because I had already paid for everything, but I never ran it. What I end up doing, I decide I'm
You
not
never
gonna
ran
do
it.
another race that's that early in the summer. So I did it like Indianapolis Marathon and I did
Biggest Mart.
Philadelphia because those are a little bit later. Like, so the South Florida heat is for real. It's
Yes.
like, it's
You're
for
very
real.
smart.
Yeah.
I know. I must say I must say Chicago is a beautiful race and it's a beautiful city, but yeah, I mean that training in the summer, it's really tough. Last year we trained for Sydney and it was in September and we had the bulk of our high, like our
Yes.
highest our peak was like, in the middle of July and August and oh my God, like, it was just really tough. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's not an easy thing, but I love that you mentioned a little bit about the cross training because that's so valuable too for runners,
Mhm.
right? And especially if
Especially in
anybody's
the summer.
experiencing an injury or something like that, there are ways, especially in the summer. Yeah. Yeah, there are ways to recover and to come back strong. And I think we also we come back stronger from injuries as well.
Mentally and
So,
physically.
they happen, it's hopefully Yes, exactly. Mentally, I'm so glad you mentioned that. So, Elliot, talk to me a little bit about, or talk to us a little bit about mental toughness, like mental training. Like, how does that compare to physical training? Why is it important? And what are some of the things that you can tell our listeners about mental training?
Speaking of mental training, honestly, that's what I coach. I don't I have I give my athletes their workout
I
and
love that.
I tell them they have to execute the workout. But in reality, what I teach them is mental. I don't want to say toughness because that's very overrated and played out.
Toughness.
It's more like having the ability to get up and follow a routine daily. Because as an athlete, the more time you put in into whatever you want to be good at, the
Mhm.
better you get at it. I remember watching an interview with Kobe Bryant, and I was on everybody else's side until he explains this. T- Let me, I think we lost connection. Are you still hearing me?
I'm here. I hear you. You're a little delayed though. Yeah. Are you there?
I remember watching an interview that Kobe Bryant did before he passed away, RIP,
Oh.
that during his prime in his basketball career, in one of the finals, the interviewer asked him, "Why don't you pass the ball?" He's like, "Look, I'm the first one to show up to practice. I'm the first one in the gym, and I'm the last one to leave. Why should I trust someone that is not training as much as me with the ball?" Once he said that, I completely understand where he's getting from. He's like, in order for me to trust that person has to put in the same amount of work that I'm putting in. And at that point, I'm like, okay. And most people coin that now the
He's
Mamba
got a point.
mentality, like the Mamba mentality. And it's true. You have to put in the work if you want to see the result. And if you want other people to
It's true.
respect you, that's on your team. When you're playing a team sport, you have to be a team player. Team player doesn't mean what you do right there on the field, on the court. It's what you do every time in practice and how you carry yourself. That's what a team player is. So you ask me about mental toughness and mental coaching. And that's what I coach. I coach at least of how to do discipline and get the work done when no one is watching, when no one is looking. And it's by no surprise that the best athletes on my team at Flanagan this year are the ones that show up early, put in more work than the others. What you put in is what you get out in anything in life.
I
You put
love
in you
that.
put in the time, you get the reward. So
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely. I
usually
love
tell people
that.
I teach athletes how to fall in love with running. Because if you're in love with something, you don't want to leave it. You don't want to go away from it. You can see when two people are in love, it's like they can't have enough of each other. So it's the same thing. I teach kids how to fall in love with running so they can't have enough of it. So they just want to keep doing it.
I love it. I love it. That's great. And yeah, the power of commitment too, because, to be there to show up. That's the first thing. Like you have to show up.
Mhm.
So if you don't show up, nothing happens. But yeah, the power of commitment and being there and putting in the work. And that's how great athletes are made. You got to be committed to the sport and to what you do and the discipline. Very, very great lessons. Thank you so much for sharing. Elliot. So we talked about your journey as an elite runner and now you're a former elite runner, but all these things brought you to where you are now. And I want you to talk to us a little bit about where you are now. Tell us a little bit about Run Addict,
Yes.
and this amazing work that you are doing for our running community and all the run clubs and hey, I'm gonna throw it out there. Why not? Why you think Friends in Training is special?
Yes. Okay. So
Yes.
French training is special because they have been doing this for a very long time. And I always say, anyone that is, a matter of fact, didn't you all start like around 1998?
Yes.
So that's, if my math is correct, if my math is
It is.
mathing, that's like 28 years. That's like
I love
28
that
years.
you know that. Yes.
28 years. Anybody that's doing anything for more than a decade is a legend in my head. So, because
Thank
doing
you.
something consistently for years on top of years is honorable. Is very honorable.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you very much.
friends in training is great because at least they found a formula and they use that formula and they're making that formula help others. Because I know for a fact that you all train runners to do their first major marathon and give them the training plan and hold their hand. So in a way, our mission is the same because what Run Addict
It
does
is.
is Run Addict is a platform that came about out of a frustration that I had.
Huh.
I wake up very early in the morning and run, and most of the time I don't see anyone else. But when I do go to a local road race, I see thousands of people, some races, tens of thousands. I'm like, this is impossible that when I go to a race that's in the same city that I'm training or wherever, I can't find anyone to run with. But whenever I go to, it's like I see so many people training, but when I go to and when it's time for me to train, I can't find anyone to train with. So I
Where are
created
the
Run
people?
Addict to solve that problem. I create Run Addict to solve that problem. So what Run Addict does is a space where you can find runners and find run clubs to get your training done. So that's what Run Addict set out to do, is to bring runners and run clubs together. They meet, they run, and they repeat. And over time, they become great runners.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that. And even in the last, I don't know how long, when was Run Addict created? What year?
2018, but we really kick it into high gear after the pandemic.
After the pandemic. I know
Yeah.
the pandemic did such a wonderful thing for the running community because there was nothing else to do. So you just put your shoes and you just go run all
Yeah.
by yourself. And so it created this huge, huge running boom that we have right now. And so I remember when we first started, like our first, for me personally, my first race was in the year 2000, and I went, well, it was a 5K, but then I traveled to Tampa. So like Orlando, like the Disney Marathon, and then Tampa were like the closest races we had to South Florida. And look at us now. We have a race like almost every weekend, everywhere. And so we went from being a very, I would say unique running group to be a part of a huge run club family that we are now. So tell us a little bit about the evolution of the run clubs and how many run clubs do you have in Run Addict and, where they are and things like that.
So a user of the Run Addict app can open up the Run Addict app wherever they're in the world, and it will show them run clubs that are close to them. Some people that are
Wow.
watching this might say Strava can do the same thing, but yeah, Strava is not just for runners. This is built for runners by a runner, and that's what I have to
Ah,
say about
woo.
that. So there's things that we do with Run Addict that no other platform can do. So
Very nice.
if you want to find a run club or someone to run with, just open up the Run Addict app or just visit runaddict.run if you don't have enough space on your phone and re- you can't break part with any of the apps that you have on your phone. You don't have to have the app. You can just do it directly from a website. You can go to runaddict.run and you can find run clubs that are near you if you turn on your location. If you don't turn on your location, it's just going to default to Miami since we're a Miami based company. And you're just going to see the run clubs that are in Miami. But if you turn on your location sharing, then it will pull the run clubs that are close to where you are and runners.
Yeah. Thank you. And I love that because it's always good to run with people, you guys. And we're big promoters. I mean, obviously, our Friends in Training program has been in for 28 years, but we're happy to see all these other groups coming up too, because everybody serves a purpose. And our main goal is really to change lives and give people an opportunity to have a better lifestyle. And actually right now, right, with the way things are, mental health is so important and running can help you with that too.
Uh-huh.
So if you are in the South Florida area, in the Broward, Miami, even Palm Beach, probably you have some clubs. Just reach out and look for a run club and look for somebody you can run with. You don't have to do it alone. And if you really are looking for a very special one, just look for our strengths in training. Yes. And so, but I do have to say, so we use Run Addict. We use the Run Addict app for, we have our training program there. We have different locations, and that's, it's there too. You have features where you can check in, right? There's so much, and the ability to see everything else that is around you. And so I want to thank you, Mr. Elliot. That's such a wonderful
My pleasure.
thing that you have done for us. And, I mean, I don't even know. I know when we first started, there was just a few run clubs, but now it's like, I don't know, 100, over 100 probably?
Yes, there's some that come and go, but it hovers around like 80.
Some come and go. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
but
know that.
it's the average is about
At
80.
80?
Okay, about 80 run clubs in
Oh,
the South Florida area
yes.
that has popped up within the last 5 to 6 years.
I love it. And then, you talk about some come and go, and it's just, it's not easy. It's not easy to lead, and, to the sustainability of it, as you know, and as you can see. But hey, if you are a run leader out there and you're listening, can I tell you how much we appreciate you, and thank you for helping us make a difference in our South Florida community. And thank you for making a difference for so many people out there. And Mr. Elliot, well, first I'm gonna ask if there's anything else that you'd like to share with us before I do my closing question.
Yes.
So
So
anything else you wanna share?
you just mentioned the run club leaders. For the run club leaders that are out there, myself, Marcela, has been doing this thing called run clubs for a very long time. So if Marcela is using the Run Addict platform, that means there's something that is solving in her run club. So if you want to
Absolutely.
be around for a very long time, your run club to be around for a very long time,
Come
like
join us.
friends in training, then I think you should be on the Run Addict app because if friends in training has been around for 26 years and they utilize the Run Addict app, it had to be something that they notice that is special about the Run Addict app. That's
Absolutely.
not me saying that.
Absolutely. So
That's not
come
me saying
join
that.
us.
That's Marcelo vouching for the Run Addict app.
Thank you. And I also love the partnership, and I have to say Elliot is amazing. He gets along with everybody,
I'm an
which I
easygoing person. I'm
love.
from the Caribbean. What can I say? I'm from the
Yeah,
Caribbean.
I
Laid back
love
is
that.
there's only one type of lifestyle we have in the Caribbean. Laid back.
I love that. Yeah,
The laid
yeah.
back lifestyle.
Uh, I know, and he's so helpful, and the resources and connections and people and networking. I love it. I love it all. So any last question, any last thoughts for our audience? Any other live messages that you want to leave out there for them?
That's every every person that runs have a starting point and a finishing point. I
Mm,
mean, yes, we all start on the same starting line and we all finish at the same finishing line. But when you start, your journey as a runner is different than everybody else that is on that line. So don't compare yourself to the person that's next to you. Compare yourself to you and just try to be the best version of you every time you show up, whether it might be for a race or for practice. Just go out there and be tested today.
I love that. Run your race. Absolutely. And Elliot, so to close, so our podcast is called Life is a Marathon, and we always say life is a marathon, not a sprint. So what does that mean to you?
Life is a marathon. I'm living the marathon because I've been running for more than 26 years. So if you want to give each mile a marathon, each mile a year, I outnumber the marathon because I've been running for more than 26 years. So in those last 26 years, I've learned so much from life and from doing marathons and from running that it have given me enough knowledge to help and teach others. Kids 4 to, from age 4 is the youngest. Actually, I coach someone that is 3 years old, all the way up to
Oh,
like 83 years old now. So it gives me the tools and the skills to teach other people that life is not about just getting it done quick, but it's staying the course. Stay in the
it's
course,
the
stay with it.
course.
And if you can stay with it long enough, you'll see the rewards that happen throughout your life and other areas of your life, not only in your running life. Because running, marathon, it teaches you something. It teaches you discipline. And if you have discipline in running, it spills over to other areas of your life. You start showing up to work earlier. You start being more productive at work. You start eating more properly. Most people eat their best when they're training or preparing for a marathon. So imagine if you do that all your life. You'll always be the best version of yourself. You'll always be the healthiest version of yourself. So that's what life is a marathon means to me. It's a lifestyle.
I love
Marathon
it.
is a lifestyle. It's not just preparing for one aspect of your race. It's preparing for your life.
I love it. Thank you so much, Mr. Elliot, the marathon of life. Listen, and if our audience, if there's anybody in our audience out there that is not a runner, that may be thinking about it or practicing any other sport, that's totally fine. Life, it gets us all. And all these principles that we are talking about and lessons from running can apply to you in your sport or, in your marathon of life. So, but definitely give running a try and enjoy it. And thank
Thank
you,
you.
Mr. Elliot. You've been amazing. Thank you so
My
much.
pleasure. My pleasure.
I
Anytime.
appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.